Chosen one, what if I told you that heaven has been watching your journey with amazement, and right now, angels are standing in shock not because of what you have done wrong, but because of what you have yet to discover about yourself. There is something extraordinary happening around your life, something so powerful that even the spiritual realm cannot understand why you still doubt what God has already placed inside you. For years, you may have looked at your struggles, your delays, your battles, and your disappointments as signs that you were forgotten. But what if those very experiences were preparing you for a revelation that would change everything? What if the setbacks were not punishments but divine training sessions? What if heaven has been waiting for the moment when your eyes finally open to the truth about who you really are? The angels have witnessed the doors that should have closed forever suddenly open for you. They have seen the protection that surrounded you when danger came near. They have watched blessings arrive in ways that cannot be explained by human logic. Yet despite all these signs, you still question your purpose, your calling, and your value. Today, that changes. This message is not an accident. If you found this video, there is a reason. God wants you to understand something that could transform the way you see yourself forever. The spiritual realm already knows your potential. Heaven already knows your future. The only person who has not fully realized it yet is you. Stay until the end, because what you are about to hear may be the confirmation your soul has been waiting for. Heaven has been protecting you more than you realize. Chosen one of the biggest reasons the angels are in shock is because you still don't fully understand how much divine protection has surrounded your life. There were moments when danger came closer than you know. There were situations that could have completely changed your future, yet somehow you walked away untouched. While others saw coincidence, heaven saw intervention. Many times, God assigned protection over your path, long before you knew you needed it. Closed doors, cancelled plans, delayed opportunities, and unexpected detours may have felt frustrating in the moment, but looking back, some of those disappointments were actually acts of divine mercy. What you thought was rejection was often protection. The spiritual realm has witnessed every unseen battle fought on your behalf. The angels have watched obstacles move out of your way, harmful intentions fail, and attacks lose their power before they could reach you. Yet you continue to underestimate the favor operating in your life. The reason heaven is amazed is because despite all the evidence, you still question whether God is with you. You still wonder if your prayers are being heard. You still doubt your significance in God's plan. But consider this, if your purpose were ordinary, would there be so much effort to preserve your journey? If your future held nothing special, why would so many obstacles fail to stop you? Your survival is not an accident. Your endurance is not luck. Every challenge you've overcome is proof that something greater is unfolding behind the scenes. The angels understand what is coming. They see pieces of the puzzle that you cannot yet see. That's why they stand amazed, not because of your weakness, but because you have no idea how protected, chosen, and guided you truly are. The fact that you are still standing today is evidence that heaven has been working for you all along. You carry a calling greater than your current circumstances. Chosen one, the angels are in shock because they can see something about your future that you still struggle to recognize. They see a calling resting upon your life that is far greater than your current circumstances. While you may be focused on today's challenges, heaven is focused on the destiny God has prepared for you. One of the enemy's greatest strategies is to convince you that your present situation defines your future. If you are facing financial struggles, you may begin to believe that lack is your identity. If you have experienced rejection, you may start to think you are unwanted. If you have encountered delays, you may assume your breakthrough will never come. But heaven sees a completely different story. Throughout history, God has often chosen ordinary people for extraordinary assignments. Before the world recognized their purpose, they faced hardship, isolation, and seasons of uncertainty. Their circumstances did not reflect their destiny. In fact, their struggles were often preparing them for it. The angels see gifts inside you that have not fully awakened yet. They see wisdom that has been developed through your battles. They see strength that was forged through pain. They see compassion that grew from your own experiences of hardship. Every challenge you have endured has been shaping you for something greater. What amazes heaven is that you continue to underestimate yourself. You focus on what you lack instead of what God has already placed within you. You compare your journey to others without realizing that your assignment is unique. The truth is that your current season is temporary, but your calling is eternal. What you see today is not the final chapter. God is still writing your story. The angels are not shocked because of what you have become. They are shocked because they can already see what you are about to become. The moment you fully recognize your God-given purpose, everything will begin to change. Your confidence will rise, your vision will expand, and you will start walking in the destiny that heaven has known about all along. Your greatest breakthrough is closer than you think. Chosen one, the angels are in shock because they can see how close you are to a breakthrough, yet you continue to believe that nothing is changing. What you call a delay, heaven often calls preparation. What feels like standing still may actually be the final stage before a major shift in your life. Many people give up just before their breakthrough arrives. They become tired of waiting, discouraged by setbacks, and frustrated by unanswered prayers. They assume that because they cannot see movement, nothing is happening. But in the spiritual realm, some of the most important work takes place behind the scenes. Think about a seed planted in the ground. For a long time, there is no visible evidence of growth. To the human eye, it appears inactive. Yet beneath the surface, roots are forming, strength is developing, and life is preparing to emerge. The same is true for many seasons in your life. The angels have watched your persistence. They have seen the prayers you prayed when nobody was listening. They have witnessed the tears you shed in private. They have observed the moments when you kept moving forward despite feeling exhausted. Every act of faith has been building towards something significant. What shocks heaven is that you are measuring your progress only by what you can see. You are overlooking the growth that has taken place within you. You are stronger than you were a year ago. You are wiser than before. You have survived battles that once seemed impossible. Those changes are evidence that God has been working all along. Your breakthrough may not arrive in the way you expect, but that does not mean it is not coming. Sometimes God changes your circumstances. Other times, He changes you first so that you are ready to handle the blessing when it arrives. The angels see doors beginning to move, opportunities being aligned, and answers drawing closer. They understand that what you've been praying for may be nearer than you imagine. Don't quit now. Don't lose hope now. The very fact that you've come this far may be proof that you are standing on the edge of a breakthrough that heaven has been preparing for all along. Your silence has been speaking louder than words. Chosen one, the angels are in shock because they have watched the power of your silence, and they cannot believe you still underestimate its impact. While you may think that staying quiet means nothing is happening, heaven sees something entirely different. Your silence has become a force that speaks louder than arguments, explanations, or attempts to prove yourself. There was a time when you may have felt the need to defend every accusation, respond to every criticism, and explain yourself to everyone who misunderstood you. But through your journey, God has been teaching you a different kind of strength. The strength to remain focused when distractions arise, the strength to stay calm when others expect a reaction, and the strength to trust Him to fight battles you cannot win through human effort. The angels have watched people become confused by your silence. They expected retaliation, but you chose peace. They expected anger, but you responded with wisdom. They expected you to break under pressure, but instead you continued moving forward. What they thought was weakness was actually evidence of growing spiritual maturity. Silence does not mean surrender. Sometimes silence is a declaration of confidence. It says, I know who I am, and I do not need everyone's approval. It says, God knows the truth, and that is enough. It says, my purpose is more important than proving a point. What amazes heaven is that your silence has protected you from countless unnecessary battles. Every argument you avoided preserved your energy. Every negative situation you walked away from kept you aligned with your purpose. Every time you chose peace over conflict, you created room for God to work. The spiritual realm understands something many people do not. Not every battle deserves your attention. Some victories come not from fighting harder, but from refusing to be distracted. The angels see how your quiet strength is shaping your future. They know that while others are consumed by noise, you are being prepared for something greater. Your silence is not empty. It is powerful, purposeful, and proof that God is teaching you to walk in wisdom rather than reaction. And that is why heaven is watching with amazement. Your silence is accomplishing more than you realize. The gift inside you is bigger than you think. Chosen one, the angels are in shock because they can see the gifts God has placed within you, yet you still view yourself through the lens of limitation. You focus on what you haven't achieved, what you don't have, or what others seem to do better. Meanwhile, heaven sees untapped potential waiting to be activated. Every person is born with a purpose, but not everyone discovers it. Some spend their entire lives doubting the very gifts that could transform their future. They compare themselves to others, overlook their strengths, and ignore the unique abilities God placed inside them. The angels are amazed because they know that your gifts were not given by accident. Perhaps your gift is encouraging others when they are ready to give up. Perhaps it is leadership, creativity, wisdom, discernment, or the ability to inspire people through your words and actions. Whatever form it takes, it was designed to make an impact far beyond what you can currently imagine. The enemy often attacks people who carry significant gifts because hidden potential is dangerous to darkness. This is why you may have faced seasons of self-doubt, rejection, or confusion. The goal was never just to stop your progress, it was to make you question your value. But heaven has seen every moment when your gift quietly touched someone's life. They have watched you encourage people who felt hopeless. They have witnessed your kindness changing someone's day. They have seen your resilience inspire others who were struggling. Even when you didn't recognize it, your life was making a difference. What shocks the angels is that you still believe you need to become someone else before you can fulfill your purpose. The truth is that God already placed the necessary foundation inside you. Your assignment does not require you to copy another person. It requires you to become the person God created you to be. The gifts within you are still growing. They are being refined through experience, strengthened through challenges, and prepared for greater opportunities. One day, you will look back and realize that what seemed small was actually the beginning of something extraordinary. Heaven already sees the impact of your gift. The question is, when will you start seeing it too? The delays were actually preparing you for something greater. Chosen one, the angels are in shock because they have watched you interpret delays as denial, when in reality many of those delays were part of God's preparation process. What felt like a setback was often a setup. What seemed like a closed door was sometimes God's way of protecting you from stepping into something before the right time. One of the hardest lessons to learn is that God's timing rarely matches human timing. We want immediate answers, quick breakthroughs, and instant results. But heaven operates with a perspective far beyond what we can see. God sees the beginning, the middle, and the end all at once. He knows exactly when a blessing will help you and when it might harm you because you are not yet ready for it. The angels have watched your moments of frustration. They have seen you question why opportunities disappeared, why certain relationships ended, and why some prayers seemed unanswered. Yet they also see the things you cannot see. They see how much you've grown because of those delays. They see the wisdom you've gained, the character you've developed, and the strength you've built. Imagine receiving a blessing before you had the maturity to handle it. Imagine stepping into your purpose without the lessons your struggles have taught you. Sometimes the preparation is just as important as the promise. What amazes heaven is that you continue to focus on what hasn't happened yet, instead of recognizing how much God has already done within you. The person you are today is not the same person you were when you first began this journey. You have been transformed through the waiting, The delays did not mean God forgot you. They did not mean you were unworthy. They did not mean your future was cancelled. In many cases, they were evidence that God was carefully arranging circumstances behind the scenes. The angels understand that every delay has been serving a purpose. They know that when the right door opens, you will be able to walk through it with confidence, wisdom, and readiness. One day, what felt like a painful delay will make perfect sense. And when that day comes, you'll realize that God wasn't making you wait. He was preparing you to receive something far greater than you imagined. Your enemies cannot understand why you keep rising. Chosen one, the angels are in shock because they have witnessed something extraordinary about your journey. No matter how many obstacles appear, no matter how many times life knocks you down, you continue to rise. What confuses those who oppose you is that they expected your struggles to break you, yet somehow you emerge stronger each time. There are people who thought your setbacks would be your ending. They assumed that rejection would stop you. They believed that disappointment would steal your confidence. They expected hardship to make you quit. But what they did not understand is that there is a divine strength operating in your life that cannot be measured by human standards. The angels have watched battles that others never knew you were fighting. They have seen the nights when you felt discouraged. They have witnessed the moments when you questioned whether you could keep going. Yet, despite everything, something inside you refused to surrender. That something is not an accident. It is the resilience God placed within you. It is the reminder that your purpose is greater than your problems. Every challenge that was meant to weaken you has instead become part of your testimony. What amazes heaven is that you still don't fully recognize your own strength. You focus on the wounds from the battles, but the angels see the victories. You remember the moments of pain, but heaven remembers the moments when you overcame what seemed impossible. The truth is that every time you rise after a setback, you send a message to the spiritual realm. God's plan for your life is still active. Every time you choose faith over fear, hope over despair, and perseverance over quitting, you prove that your destiny is stronger than your circumstances. Your enemies may not understand it. They may wonder why you haven't given up. They may be confused by your endurance, but heaven understands exactly why. The angels know that God is still writing your story. They know that your greatest chapters have not yet been revealed. And they stand amazed because despite everything you've faced, you continue to rise. That is not ordinary strength. That is evidence that God has been carrying you all along. Heaven is revealing things to you before others can see them. Chosen one, the angels are in shock because they see that God has been giving you insight, wisdom, and discernment that many people around you do not yet understand. While others only see what is happening on the surface, you often sense that there is something deeper taking place. This is not your imagination, it is part of the spiritual sensitivity God has been developing within you. Have you ever felt strongly about a situation before there was any visible evidence? Have you ever sensed that a person was not being genuine, only to later discover that your instincts were correct? Have you ever felt led to change direction, avoid a certain path, or pursue an unexpected opportunity, and later realized it was the right decision? These moments are not always coincidences. The angels have watched God sharpen your discernment through experience. Many of the disappointments, betrayals, and lessons you have endured were not meant to destroy you. They were teaching you how to recognize truth from deception, wisdom from distraction, and purpose from temptation. What amazes heaven is that you often dismiss these insights because they do not make sense immediately. You question yourself when God is trying to show you something. You look for confirmation from people who cannot see what heaven is revealing to you. The truth is that not everyone will understand your journey. Not everyone will recognize what God is doing in your life. Some people require visible proof before they believe anything is changing. But God often works differently with those He is preparing for a greater purpose. He gives them glimpses of the future before the evidence appears. This does not mean you are better than anyone else. It means you are being trained to trust God more deeply. Discernment is not about predicting everything perfectly. It is about learning to listen carefully and walk wisely. The angels are amazed because they see the growth taking place within you. They know that the wisdom you are gaining today will protect you tomorrow. They know that the lessons you are learning now will guide major decisions in the future. Pay attention to what God is teaching you in this season. The insights you receive today may become the key to the doors He opens tomorrow. Heaven sees the preparation, even when others do not. And that is why the angels are watching your journey with amazement. The reward for your faithfulness is already being prepared. Chosen one, the angels are in shock because they can see rewards being prepared for you that you cannot yet see. While you have been focused on surviving each day, heaven has been focused on the harvest that is growing from every seed of faith, obedience, patience, and perseverance you have planted along the way. Many people believe that their efforts go unnoticed when results do not appear immediately. They wonder if their prayers matter. They question whether their sacrifices have any purpose. They become discouraged because they cannot see instant evidence of progress. But the spiritual realm operates differently. Nothing done in faith is ever wasted. The angels have witnessed every act of kindness you offered when nobody thanked you. They have seen every prayer you prayed in private. They have watched you choose integrity when dishonesty would have been easier. They have observed you continue moving forward, even when you felt exhausted and overlooked. What amazes heaven is that you often judge your life by what has not happened yet. You measure your progress by visible rewards while ignoring the invisible work that God has already been doing. You forget that many blessings begin long before they become visible. Just as a farmer plants seeds and waits for the harvest, there are seasons when God is developing things beneath the surface. During those seasons, patience becomes part of the process. Faith grows stronger. Character is refined. Wisdom increases. These are not signs that nothing is happening. They are signs that preparation is taking place. The angels know that every challenge you have endured has produced something valuable. They see opportunities being aligned, doors being positioned, and circumstances being arranged in ways that you cannot yet understand. What looks like an ordinary season to you may actually be the final stage before a significant breakthrough. Do not allow temporary delays to convince you that your faithfulness has been ignored. Heaven keeps perfect records. Every prayer, every act of obedience, and every moment of trust matters. The reward may not arrive exactly when you expect it, and it may not come in the form you imagined. But the angels know something you need to remember today. God is never late, and He never forgets. The blessings connected to your faithfulness are closer than you think, and heaven is already preparing the way. You are about to discover who you really are. Chosen one. The angels are in shock because they can see that you are standing at the edge of one of the greatest revelations of your life, the discovery of who you truly are. Not who your past says you are, not who your critics claim you are, not who your fears tell you that you are, but who God created you to be from the very beginning. For years, you may have carried labels that were never meant to define you. Perhaps people called you weak when you were actually being strengthened. Perhaps they called you different when God was setting you apart. Perhaps they misunderstood your journey because they could only see your current circumstances, not your future destiny. The angels have watched you wrestle with doubt. They have seen moments when you questioned your worth, your purpose, and your ability to fulfill God's plan. Yet through every challenge, heaven has been working to reveal a deeper truth. You are far more powerful, valuable, and capable than you realize. One of the greatest tricks of the enemy is to keep people distracted from their true identity. If you never discover who you are, you will never fully step into what you were created to do. That is why so many battles in your life have targeted your confidence, your vision, and your sense of purpose. But something is changing. The experiences you've endured, the lessons you've learned, and the obstacles you've overcome have all been leading to this moment. God has been removing old beliefs, breaking limiting mindsets, and preparing you to see yourself through His eyes instead of the world's opinions. What amazes heaven is that the answers you've been seeking have been closer than you think. The strength you need is already within you. The wisdom you seek is already being developed. The purpose you've been searching for has been unfolding step by step all along. The angels know that once you truly understand who you are, everything will begin to shift. Fear will lose its grip, doubt will lose its voice, confidence will rise, your decisions will become clearer, and your walk with God will become stronger. That is why the angels are watching with amazement. They know that you are not just approaching another season, you are approaching a revelation. And when you finally see yourself the way heaven sees you, your life will never be the same again. Chosen one, if this message spoke directly to your spirit, understand that it was not by accident. There is a reason you were led to hear these words today. Heaven has been sending signs, confirmations, and reminders all along, and perhaps this message was the one you needed to finally recognize what God has been trying to reveal. The angels are not shocked because of who you used to be. They are amazed because of who you are becoming. They have witnessed your battles, your tears, your prayers, and your perseverance. They have seen the moments when you wanted to quit, but kept going. They have watched you survive storms that should have broken you, and rise from situations that should have defeated you. Never forget this. Your story is still being written. The chapter you're living right now is not the final chapter. God is still opening doors, aligning opportunities, removing obstacles, and preparing blessings that are beyond your current understanding. So walk forward with confidence. Stop doubting what heaven has already confirmed. Stop questioning whether you are chosen, protected, and guided. The evidence is all around you. You have come too far to believe that God has abandoned His plan for your life. The season ahead may reveal things you never expected. It may bring answers to prayers you thought were forgotten. It may unlock opportunities you never imagined possible. But above all, it will remind you that God has been with you every step of the way. If you believe this message was meant for you, type, "I am ready" in the comments below. Let it be a declaration of faith that you are prepared to receive everything God has been preparing for you. Stay blessed, stay faithful, and remember, heaven knows your name, your purpose, and your future. Your greatest days are still ahead.